Hey everyone. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the alternative for the choices that you're making. So I did a video before recently, not too sure when it'll come out, but I'll make sure this one comes out after that one, where we talked about standing behind the choices. There is a little bit of a addition, I suppose, to that, which is totally committing to the choice that you're making. And the reason for that is because not because totally committing is so great, but because the alternative is so destructive. What do I mean by this? Well, it's probably easiest to describe this in terms of relationships. When you're in a relationship and you fully stand behind the choice that this is the partner that you choose, this is the partner that you want to give your all, this is the partner that, for the time being, is your partner. This is your relationship. What you're going to do is you're going to give more of yourself to the relationship. You're going to be more loving, you're going to be more caring, you're going to invest more into it. The problem, as you can see with that, is that it can cause a lot of pain. When the relationship goes away, when the partner betrays you, when something else happens, you are inviting a lot of pain in if you fully give yourself. And that's why most of us don't give ourselves fully to the choices that we're making. We kind of dip our toes into it and try a little bit and try that choice out a little bit. We try that relationship out, but we're too scared of really giving it everything that we have because of being hurt. And this is where the alternative comes in, and why it's so much better to still do that anyway. Because the alternative would mean that you don't give yourself fully, that you hold back, that you consciously say, no, I'm too scared of what may happen, so I'm not going to do that. And when you do that, the only thing that happens is that you're inviting a self-fulfilling prophecy in. Think about you dipping your toes into a relationship and the partner doesn't understand you fully. One of three choices is likely to happen. You're hoping for number three, but option number one is that because you don't give yourself fully to the relationship, the person will think that they're not fully valued. And because of that, they're not going to invest fully into it, which then makes you not fully valued. And over time, you're just both not going to feel right in that relationship and it's going to end. Meaning that you're not investing into it caused the relationship to end. Second thing that may happen is that you dip your toes into a little bit, you get a lot back, and then as you trust them, you give more and more of yourself back. And then they don't like it. But at that point, you've put together so long that when you then suddenly decide to throw in everything you are, it's going to be really, really painful nonetheless. Probably even more so, it's just going to cost more time. By you not giving yourself fully right away, what you ended up creating in the other person was a sense of fakeness. They're suddenly getting to know you now, after all of this time, and that might not bring much confidence with them. They might not trust you that much. And because of that, you again invited in that the relationship will probably be much rockier road if it works at all. Or option three is that you do end up doing this little slow process and the person likes you more for that, which again is what you hope to happen, because that would mean it would all work out. But if you're giving yourself fully to the relationship right away, if you're giving everything you have, if you're just totally committed to it, if you dive bomb right in holding your nose, sure, it may not work out. But either you're going to know sooner rather than later, or it's going to be really genuine if it does work out. The pain is going to be the same. It's still going to suck. But if you don't give it everything you have, you're living a lesser life every moment you're not giving it your all. Hopefully this makes a little bit of sense, because we can apply this to other areas of life as well. If you don't give everything during your workouts, you're not really going to give yourself a chance to be really fit. If you don't give yourself everything in your job, you're not going to give passion a chance to rise. You're not going to give a promotions those opportunities to come to you. And if you don't do it with life overall, you're just going to live a lesser life. If you live out of fear, because of the pain, or because of the disappointment, or because of whatever else will happen, what you end up doing is just inviting a self-fulfilling prophecy in. You invite problems in. You invited in that it won't work. The worst part about that is that if it then does not work, next time you say, see, I knew it. I knew I was going to get some pain. And because of that, you try even less hard. You're even more resistant to giving life your all. Is that really the life you want to live? One based out of fear, one where you never really try anything because you're too worried about getting hurt. You're not really going to enjoy anything either that way, because you're always going to hold back. If we take the relationship example again, even if that other person gives you all the love in the world, as long as you don't give everything, you will feel it's not genuine, because it's not to who you really are. It's to that fake person, or to not everything that you've shown. The love is given to a part of you, but not the whole you. And so you will never feel truly loved if that happens. You're expecting someone, in terms of the relationship, to break through all those barriers, to love you through all of those, and to stick with you through all of that. To basically do the self-improvement work for you, and give you love all the same. That's a big ask. And it's the same thing you're asking of life. When you're not giving it your all. When you're going on vacation, you're expecting the vacation to break through all of those doubts that you have, to break through all of those fears and still make you enjoy it. When you're working in your job, you expect that job to fill you with passion, and so on and so forth. But life doesn't work that way. So the alternative to living fully is to holding back, inviting the problems in, and living a lesser life of hoping, and then training yourself into hoping and wishing and praying that life somehow works out for you without really giving it a chance yourself. It's as though you're running a marathon and you think you're going to lose, so you never really try. You do know that doubt that you have is you betting against yourself, right? That when you go into a relationship not fully giving it your all, you're basically saying, hey, I know this relationship won't work. I know this is going to hurt me, so I might as well hold myself back. That's how you're going through life right now, if this sounds familiar. And that's a pretty unfortunate way to live life. As kids, we never did this. Mostly because we never thought 2 steps in front of us. We just thought about what was next, and we gave it all because that's the only thing we knew how to do. But that's also what made it more fun. Yeah, there was more pain. Yeah, sometimes you fell and really hurt yourself. But when you were excited, when you were joyous, you were in such a good mood that you affected everybody else around you. That's why many people still regard that as the best times of their life, because they didn't held back. It's not because they gave more to life or because life was better, but because they learned over time to hold themselves back, and that's why they're not experiencing as much joy, as much passion, as much romance. Of course you can get hurt, but the truth is that can happen if you hold yourself back or if you don't. It's not just suddenly not going to happen because you hold yourself back. You can fail at it anyway. So the question is, what would you rather do? Would you rather give your life a chance? Would you rather give it an honest shot? Would you rather try and see what you can get? And then if you're hurt, at least you can say, you know what, I gave it everything I've got. Or would you like to keep living and holding back and creating a lesser life and inviting failure in via self-fulfilling prophecies essentially shooting yourself in your own foot. It's scary. It's scary to put yourself out there in everything that you do. It's scary to give something your all. And yes, you can, and yes, you will get hurt. But the point is to make your life more important than that pain. To do it anyway, because not because you want the results, but because anything else you'd regret more. Live your life not controlled by fear. That doesn't mean you have to ignore fear. There's some things it's good to be careful of. You should probably hold back on driving too fast on the road, right? That stuff makes sense. But in other things, allow yourself to be a little bit more courageous, to be a little bit braver, to give more things everything you've got, your full attention, your full passion, your full work ethic. Just more. And see what that does for you. If you can, do yourself one favor to test this out. This week, block a 30-minute to 60-minute time block, and in that block, whatever you decide to do, it doesn't matter, but when you decide to do something, you really try to do it. You go at it with an intention, you really give your all to whatever you're doing. If you're watching a comedy show, you try to laugh as much as you can and try to enjoy yourself as much as possible. When you're with friends, you try to really, really, really make sure that you're having as much communication, as much joy as you can, and so on and so forth. When you're working out, you really try to grind out that workout. And see what happens. See if you feel better afterwards than before. Too much of life is lived in fear and worry of what may or may not happen. Besides, you might invest everything and it all works out brilliantly. Stop betting against yourself. Stop betting against your own life. Your life will turn out much better if you start believing in yourself and if you start giving it your all, because you have so much more to give. And when you give more, you reap more. I hope this was valuable. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.